Okay, welcome back. Growth in Nigeria is forecast to strengthen to 4.4% in both 2026 and 2027, the fastest pace in over a decade, the World Bank said in its newly released annual Global Economic Prospect report. This further firming of growth is anticipated to be underpinned by a continued expansion in services and a rebound in agricultural output, with a modest acceleration in the non-oil industry. According to the Washington-based lender, Nigeria's ongoing economic reforms, including the commencement of a newly structured tax system along with continued prudent monetary policies, are expected to continue supporting growth prospect. I'm pleased to be joined by Samson Oko, his admin lead Network Africa. You're so welcome.
Yeah,
thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so it's timely conversation. Yesterday, the World Bank forecast this Nigeria's growth at 4.4% in 2026 and 2027.
Yeah.
How significant is this? Okay, why the laugh?
On average,
this projection.
The real Nigerians, an average Nigerians will be so surprised when this news came out yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, of course, there were a lot of talks. The people in power are happy.
Yes.
Of course, they are projecting the news. This is the kind of news that our leaders want to hear.
Okay.
Of course, they boost it. But the average Nigerians that want to pay school fees, that want to pay the house rent, that want to just survive, are wondering, is it the same Nigeria we are in?
Right.
Right? It's just like in most states, like Enugu, where we say we are moving our economy from 4 billion to 30 billion. And we now say, okay, last year we generated 400 billion in IGR. The average person in the state is now wondering, I mean, come on, we have all the figures, the projections, but when it comes to real life experiences, I mean, the economy, the micro economy. When we talk about the family economy, when a breadwinner has 50,000, what is the purchasing power of that 50,000 compared to 10 years ago, compared to even 5 years ago?
5 years ago,
because it appears that as the years is going on, we are getting bigger projections for Nigeria. Just like when we were in 2010, we're looking at Vision 2020, bigger projections. Nigeria will be this big, Africa will be this big, right? But in reality, these things aren't working out. So I feel that most Nigerians will be surprised whether there is another Nigeria elsewhere that this projections is for. But when it is the current reality of Nigeria, it is quite different from what is on ground.
On ground. It's more like what they're projecting is not reflecting in our pockets.
Of course.
Okay, so you know that the service sector is actually leading this growth, information, finance, communication technology. Why? Why?
Of course. Some of the policies are favoring such sectors like the service sector. Of course, you know right now that when you make a transfer beyond 10,000, you are paying 15 naira. So this is more money for such sectors. Recently, before the telecommunication sector, when you say the text message is just 4 naira, now it's 6 naira. So there is this policies that are helping those service-based sectors, right? At the end of the day, the common man, the Nigerians that are using those, I mean, you can't do without the telecommunication sector. You can't do without the banking sector. You can't do without some of these things. People must get information. People must buy data. People must buy recharge cards. So more of Nigerians' money are going into those sector, even though they are getting lesser value. I mean, an average Nigerian that works online, maybe before now you could buy data 1 gig for, say, 200, 300. Now, right now, it's almost 1,000 naira, right? So more money is going into those sectors, boosting the profits of those sectors. So when you now say our projection, we are making more money, 4.4% growth. I mean, it doesn't reflect. It only means that more of the finances, the money of the average masses are being taken into certain sectors that the average Nigerian cannot do but pay.
I don't know if you saw what Money Point, the news they released yesterday about a particular VAT on some transactions, 7 point something.
See, what is going on in the financial sector, the banking sector is very worrisome.
Very worrisome.
We don't even know, an average Nigerian cannot even comprehend the deductions that they have. I mean, sometimes you wake up to your corporate account. You are saying 300 naira deduction, 700 naira deduction, account maintenance. I mean, it is, you can't keep up with the charges. And for those people who make, into business, there's almost nothing you can do. There's almost not, because you must use these services to survive in business. So it's tiring. And the worrisome part is that the government is not even looking at how to make these charges lower. They are even bringing more taxes. I mean, we battled with the federal government on this new tax laws.
Yeah, the new tax reform.
I mean, when the tax reform were presented to the National Assembly, there was this uproar. That was not enough. We still got the rumors that the one that the National Assembly eventually gazetted, approved, was still, there were some things that happened in the background that some of the senators had to raise alarm
again.
The federal government, Tinubu's led administration, still went ahead to insist that that law must be implemented. And the average Nigerians, we can just analyze and talk. But
we can't just analyze and talk. That's the reason we are talking.
Yes.
Definitely they get to hear us and make amends. But let's talk about this, right? Is this growth only for a macroeconomic success, or will it reflect in the microeconomy realities pretty soon? Do we have a time that we are going to feel it in our pocket?
Everything.
In what we are buying, in fuel, in transportation. Because I can't imagine the gantry price for Dangote refinery is this amount, but when you go out to board the bus, it's just the reverse.
The truth is, everything rises and falls on leadership.
True.
We can have all the projections, right? We can have all the good figures. We have always had it. Nigeria, Africa have always had very humongous figures. Africa is a promising continent. Nigeria is a promising. But then, where we are getting it wrong is the leadership. If at this time that the nation, Nigerians are struggling to eat, you are introducing more taxes, where we know that there are certain nations that have as much oil as Nigeria, and even lesser than Nigeria, that do not even tax their citizens. We know nations that have oil that pay their citizens a stipend monthly, whether you are working or you are not. So, but the government, the leadership is not looking at these things. So we might have the figures. How these figures are arrived at is still a question. There is a question mark.
So how will we arrive at that?
Yes. Or how the World Bank, these banks are the institutions that always give Nigeria loans. The Western powers are always out there to give us loans. Maybe there is something behind the scene that we are not seeing. Because they should have the data to know that these monies are not reflecting on the average Nigerian. Yet, when the president, the governors go back to them, they are more than willing to offer them more loan.
Okay, but let me just ask a question, right? It will be a yes or no. Do you think that this will reflect in, let's say, 6 months? We'll be fine as Nigeria?
If it will not.
It will not?
Yes. And that is because of the body language of the leaders, both in the federal and the state levels. There's the leaders are not really ready to fill the pulse. If not, the current tax reforms, nobody should be talking about it at this moment. If not, a state like Enugu should not be talking about, you generated 400 billion last year, and the citizens, the businesses are shutting down. Small-scale businesses are not surviving. And 2022, you are projecting 860 billion. In the same IGR, in a state that we don't have businesses, that is majorly a civil servant state.
I was going to talk about Nigerian entrepreneurs and SMEs. What does this mean for them, this projection? What does it mean for them?
We in the private sector, business people like me, would wish that it will materialize. But given what we see, it's only something that can make you angry. Right? It's more like an insult. An average Nigerian business person is working hard. But when we see all these figures and it's not reflecting to what we are seeing. You make a transfer, you are charged. Somebody sends you money, you are charged. You are taxed on your staff. Right now, many businesses are lacking staff because people that maybe you are paying somebody 70,000, and the person transport at the end of the month is about 20,000. But because of this whole thing going on in the economy, you are paying somebody 70,000. The person spends 45 to 50,000 in transport. Most of them cannot continue being your employees if you don't make a significant increase in their salary.
Yes.
And the purchasing power of Nigerians have drastically reduced. We are seeing big figures, but people can no longer afford many things they can't afford before. Because of that, even businesses that want to increase salaries
yes.
do not have the revenue to increase such salaries. Because of that, most of the employees are quitting. And when employees are quitting, you are not making revenues, businesses are going to shut down, and many have shut down. We all know the popular ShopRite in Enugu State, which was, I mean, it was an experience to take your kid to ShopRite to, if you want to, you want to marry. I mean, at that stage, you just take the person. True. But now it's no longer there. Why? Because the purchasing power of those sustain, because it's the customers that sustain businesses. When people can no longer buy those things, I mean, businesses are going down.
It's a lot. Before I get to how it can elevate, let's say, employment, let's talk about agriculture, because it will also be leading this growth that was projected. What is this awakening? It's more like we have an awakening in agriculture in Nigeria currently. What is this? What is influencing it?
You see what we have in the agricultural sector. Like now, we see that the price of most commodities are down. Like the price of rice is down on paper. But meet the real farmers. One of my mentors is one of the biggest rice farmers in the southeast. Right? I am married from a rice cultivating community in Enugu State, Oduma. And when you interview those people, you will find out that farmers are losing money. They are not making money.
Oh, they are losing money.
Yes. Why? Because normally, if the price of such commodities are coming down, it should be that there's a lot of surplus. Many people enter the sector, but that's not the truth. The border was opened. The border that was closed was open. So rice and some of those commodities is coming in from other nations, competing with those produced locally. Now, those local farmers are forced to bring down their price far below the cost of production.
Is this what's happening behind the scenes?
This is what is happening.
So that's why we can afford rice at this time.
Yes. The border was open, more rice is entering, yet the cost of production is high. The cost of fertilizer is not down, it's going up. So if a farmer spends, let's say, 100 million producing, the person may not be able to get up to 5-6 million after all expenses. So it is artificial improvement in the agricultural sector when you meet the real farmers. I mean, it's a different story. Many of them are not going back to the farm next year.
Okay, you just mentioned only rice. What do you think about other agricultural products?
The same thing, yes.
Okay. So what does this mean for young people in Nigeria? Would this translate into real jobs? This projection into real jobs? Even here in the southeast, how do we benefit from it?
We have always had these figures. These things are not new.
Meaning you're trying to say we are not going to benefit anything
until the government stop giving us these figures and start creating enabling environment for businesses to thrive. I mean, right now, just to register a business, even before you open your doors, you are taxed. I mean, there's taxation on almost anything. Right now, you want to start a business, it is very difficult to even rent a space. Look at what is happening in Enugu. Enugu is not unique. It's happening almost everywhere. Until these factors of production are made easy for young people to enter into business, this projection doesn't make any sense. Why? Even if you don't want to do business, you want to be an employee. Is it not when small-scale businesses, the ecosystem is thriving, that such employers can open their doors and get in more people? Now, employers are downsizing. Employers are downsizing because of the harsh economy and the influence of AI. I mean, what you could do with 10 staff, you cannot do with one person that has AI tools. So more people are losing their jobs. So we will have more of unemployment, and most businesses will shut down. You know,
I would always say that AI will not take over jobs, because jobs is actually a big thing. They will take about taxes, but that's another conversation. Definitely, I will have you back to talk about that. Okay, so finally, how strong is the Southeast service sector, and is it doing enough to position itself for Nigeria's service-led growth?
The Southeast is an interesting region. I mean, most of the big business, we don't have many big businesses here, where the Igbos are more of traders, right? We go, we buy, and we sell. We don't have we don't have cement industries here. We what we have majorly are small businesses that are trying to thrive, apart from what is going on in Aba.
Yes.
Right? Some in Anambra.
Okay.
We don't have many businesses, many manufacturing, heavy service sectors in Enugu, in Imo. I mean, the Southeast is we are more of traders. And that is why what we expect these leaders, political leaders to do is to create an enabling environment for small-scale businesses to thrive, because that is what we have. In the Southeast, you go to Lagos, you go to Ogun, you see big factories producing big things. That's the truth. But you can't see that in the Southeast. It's rare. What we have are small-scale businesses, but the policies of the government is suffocating those things. Yeah, and investors coming in and partner with the government to get companies, erected here, and we could have employment. Because at the end of the day, employment, it's scary. Our governors will always say, we are attracting investors. I keep telling them, investors are not fools. Businesses existing already are shutting down. We used to have Coca-Cola in 9th Mile in Enugu. It's no longer there. It has shut down. We had hundreds of Indibo, Southeasterners working in that business. It is gone. Go to ShopRite. ShopRite is no longer there. The space is empty. These were a business that employ hundreds of our people. It is gone. Those people are out of jobs. So it's a lot. It is, and it's getting worse. Because, look at what is going on in Enugu. Every business person is afraid. Every business person is afraid. Some have... What's the next news? Yes. Like, what's the next news? Yes. Okay. You said it's getting worse, but I want to believe that it will only get better. Please. But the reality is looking somehow, but we pray that it only gets better. Thank you very much, Mr. Samson Uku. It's been so insightful. You came with a lot of insights. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, that's the much we can take on the Eastern Business Report. Mimi, thanks for staying with us. My name is Norma Aniwene. Bye for now.